Hello everyone, welcome to Nilanjana's exclusive English lessons, and today we are back with the next episode of Julius Caesar. So in this episode we are going to see and understand the conversation between Brutus and his wife Portia. And Portia, as a concerned wife, is worried because she finds that Brutus is quite disturbed, he's not getting enough sleep, and he's also in some kind of a conflict which reflects in his behavior. So, as we all know, much ado, let me begin the explanation. And yes, you all know what I'm going to ask from all of you, that if you think that these kind of explanations, the line by line explanations, which are super easy for you to understand the drama, if you think these are fruitful, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Share this video with others. Also, give it a like if you think the content is helpful for all of you. And those who are looking for my online classes, this is the email address that you can see on the screen. You can go ahead and share the details if you want to register for the online classes. And at the same time, there are certain ebooks which are available. Also, courses are there. Many students have taken benefit, and even adults have found it quite helpful because the courses are for developing your writing skill, email writing, and so on and so forth. So the link I have shared in the description box. So you can also go ahead and have a look. All right, so let's begin the explanation. That face is the index of the mind. Now, Brutus looks very disturbed for the last few days, which Portia, as a wife, must have understood. So in this part, she's going to inquire to her husband that what's the matter, and if he can share his thought, his disturbed thoughts with his wife. So this is what we're going to understand in this part, all right? So, yeah, and also a little background. The other night, Brutus actually gave her a very mean look at dinner and dismissed her when she wanted to talk about what was bothering him. She wanted to know further about what was going on in his mind, and probably she wanted to know about it. But that night, the previous night, Brutus actually ignored and dismissed because he didn't want to share what was going on in his mind. Now, we as the readers, we know that what is Brutus worried about, because he is in some kind of a dilemma. He is really hesitant at times that whether he should be a part of the conspiracy or not, whether the mission is going to be successful or not. So all these thoughts are quite disturbing for him, and that is getting reflected in his behavior, in his personal life, and at the same time, he's also not able to get enough sleep. And Portia pleads with him to tell her what's making him so unhappy. So this is what we're going to explore in this part. Portia, Brutus, my lord, Brutus. Portia, what mean you? Wherefore rise you now? So Brutus is a little surprised to see Portia at this hour of the night. Now, you know what is the time that they are having the conversation. It's almost dawn. So that means the entire night Brutus was not able to sleep. So early morning, we can see that Portia has entered the garden where Brutus was all with himself, and that's when Brutus tells Portia, Portia, what mean you? Wherefore rise you now? So what are you doing at this hour? It is not for your health thus to commit your weak condition to the raw, cold morning. So why did you leave the bed so early? Wherefore rise you now means, why have you come here, and that is also at this early hour? It is not for your health. You are too weak, and therefore it's not suitable for you to expose yourself to the damp, cold morning. So early morning, the weather is a little damp and cold, and that is not good for Portia. So we can see that he's quite a concerned husband, and he is worried about Portia's health. The word commit over here means expose. So she is not supposed to expose herself to this damp, cold morning. Portia, nor for yours neither. So Portia tells that as you are concerned about my health, and I'm not supposed to expose myself to this weather, the same goes for you. Nor for yours neither. That means you're also not supposed to get yourself exposed for your health. You have ungently, Brutus, stole from my bed. So it was very unkind of you that you have got up from my bed, and yesternight at supper you suddenly arose. So yesternight at supper, this is the incident which I had just referred in the beginning of the video that at supper time, Brutus had suddenly left the table and he walked about the room with his arms folded. So, this is what Portia is referring that yesternight at supper, suddenly you arose from the table and walked about musing and sighing. Musing and sighing means he was absorbed in his thoughts. He was worried about something. He was absolutely disturbed about something which showed in his facial expression. And he walked about with your arms across, means the arms being folded together. And when I asked you what the matter was, you stared upon me with ungentle looks. And when I asked you that what was the matter, why are you behaving like this, you looked at me with ungentle looks. This means you gave me angry looks. You looked at me angrily. I urged you further, then you scratched your head and too impatiently stamped with your foot. So when she urged him further, he scratched his head and then, in a very impatient manner, he had stamped his foot. So, all these behavioral descriptions that we can see about Brutus, it is quite evident that he is extremely disturbed. Yet I insisted, yet you answered not. So, even when I insisted, you have still not answered, but with an angry wafture of your hand, gave sign for me to leave you. So when I continued to urge you that what is the matter, if you can share your thoughts, even then you did not answer. And what you instead did is with an angry wafture of your hand. Angry wafture of the hand means angry wave of your hand. So with an angry wave of your hand, you asked me to leave you. That was a gesture from your end that I should leave you alone and I should not disturb you further. So I did. Yeah, of course, I went ahead and did that. I did not disturb you further, fearing to strengthen that impatience which seemed too much enkindled. So why did I leave you? Because I feared that if I stayed longer, you would be all the more irritated. Fearing to strengthen that impatience means I was scared that if I stayed longer, it would trigger your impatience further, which was already too much enkindled. That means you were already very irritated and overexcited, hoping it was but an effect of humor. And what did I hope? I hope that it was like probably your mood was not fine. It was one of your moods and it would, pass away over the period of time. It's just a passing phase. Like, how we all have our mood swings. Sometimes we don't feel pleasant and peaceful, and our mind is not at peace. So, probably I thought that even you are going through the same passing phase, and sometimes men are prone to have this kind of disturbing thoughts, which sometime hath his hour with every man. So, this is what Portia sums up that the kind of behavior you showed, I thought that maybe it is a passing phase. You were probably not in a very good mood, and men often go through these kind of passing phases. So I just left you alone. It will not let you eat, nor talk, nor sleep, and could it work so much upon your shape as it hath much prevailed on your condition. But then I have realized that neither you eat your meals, nor you are indulging in any kind of conversation, and nor you are taking rest, means nor you are sleeping. And if your mood affects your appearance as much as your mental condition, then it would be difficult to recognize you. And could it work so much upon your shape, the mood swings that you're going through, if it is affecting you to this extent, even your appearance will be affected. Like as I have said, face is the index of the mind. It will show up in your face, in your behavior, in your expression, as it hath much prevailed on your condition. Just the way it has affected you mentally, even physically, it is going to affect you, and it has in fact affected you. I should not know you, Brutus. So then I should not know you. That means it would be difficult for me to even recognize you, because you would be so different from your original self. Dear my lord, Make me acquainted with your cause of grief. So she is very concerned and worried. She understands that this is not the Brutus that she has known so far, as he looks so different, he behaves very different. He's not eating, he's not sleeping, not taking rest. There is something which is bothering this man. And that's the reason she asks, let me know that what is the cause of your grief. Grief over here refers to your troubled mind. Brutus, I'm not well in health, and that is all. So Brutus is still not ready to divulge his thoughts, and that's when he says that I'm just not, good in health, and that is the reason I'm not feeling well. Portia, Brutus is wise, and were he not in health, he would embrace the means to come by it. So Portia tells that, I know that you are a wise man. Brutus is wise. I know that you are really wise. And if there were anything wrong with your health, you would have definitely taken some steps to improve your health. But I don't see that you have taken any steps. And were he not in health, that means if you were not good in health, he would embrace the means. Embrace the means, he would have taken certain steps to come by it, to have put it right. Brutus, why? So I do. That means that's what I'm doing. Good Portia, go to bed. So he again tries to, put her aside, and he's still not ready to confide in her. Portia, is Brutus sick? And is it physical to walk unbraced and suck up the humors of the dank morning? So Portia tells that, are you sick? So are you unwell? And is it really physically good for you that you are at this hour awake and you are walking, in an exposed manner, that like he doesn't have anything warm around him to keep him warm. He doesn't have a cloak around him which will keep him warm. And therefore, what is he doing? He's absorbing the cold vapors of the damp morning. It's early morning, and during this time, if we get exposed, we all know that this time the weather is a little tricky. Early morning, the weather is a little damp. So we need to protect ourselves so that we don't fall ill. However, Brutus has not covered himself in any way, and he's just walking like this. What, is Brutus sick? And will he steal out of his wholesome bed to dare the vile contagion of the night? So she tells that, are you sick? And if you are sick, would you really get up from your warm bed? Wholesome bed means warm and comfortable bed, to dare the vile contagion. Dare the vile contagion refers to allow contagion. The vile contagion means the impure air which will bring cold and chill, so that your sickness gets all the more aggravated. That means, what is she trying to say? That if you are unwell, you would not have got up from the bed at this hour of the night, and you would not have exposed yourself to this damp weather, and tempt the rheumy and unpurged air to add unto his sickness. Rheumy and unpurged air. Unpurged means it's the air which is not purified, and rheumy means cold and chill air. No, my Brutus, you have some sick offense within your mind. So here she is very able to ascertain that the sickness that Brutus is talking about is not a physical sickness, but something that is bothering his mind.